Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Camaro Rebuild. Today we're going to be installing the crankshaft into the 350 engine. This has been a long time coming. A lot of cleaning, a lot of prepping, a lot of work has gone into this very moment today where we get to put the crankshaft in. Now I know it's not like the most exciting part of rebuilding an engine. Obviously starting the engine is the most exciting part of building an engine. But as far as major pieces go, this is definitely one of them. So in our garage we have it all prepped up. Here is the crankshaft, nice and cleaned up. We've got the new bearings right there, the new main seal. All of the main bearing caps are right there in the order that they have to go in. A word of warning for anybody who is doing this: if you didn't pull these out in the correct order and keep them in order the whole time, it is going to be a pain to get them back on properly. A lot of people say, oh, just look at the arrow and look at the number on them, but what number? There is no number on this that tells me that this is the #1 main cap. So definitely just do your best to keep them in order. I'll show you the other one here. This is actually the #2. Now down here you've got 6-2, but I don't know if that's actually helpful. On this one you have 3M, actually I think that's GM 96, which is also not useful, and none of the other numbers make any sense whatsoever. This is the only one that I can tell that's actually stamped. It looks like it has a tiny little 4 right there, which is correct because this is the #4. And obviously Big Bertha here is impossible to mix up. It's the biggest one of all of the caps, so you know it goes at the end over there. First we're gonna start with putting the main seal in, then the main bearings in both the caps and the block itself, and then we're gonna lube it all up. Drop the crankshaft in, put those on, make sure the clearances are good, and then the crankshaft will be in. It is literally that easy. Now, obviously you want to start by putting your main seal in right there. And something to keep in mind when this is going in, there's a deep V that needs to face inwards towards the engine. It's kind of underneath this little flap right here, and that's what faces inwards. So similarly on the cap itself, we want to take that inwards facing part, make sure that it is aligned like that, and then it is just going to slide right in. And there you go, main seals are replaced. So now I'm going to throw you guys on the tripod and put all of the bearings into the block. Now when you're putting these into the block itself, there's not really a specific order that you have to follow. The only thing to keep in mind is the ones that go in the block have the oil holes on them, and they should align perfectly with the oil holes in the engine. So I'm gonna move you guys over here so you can see this oil hole here aligns with that oil hole right there. Now what you wanna do to place these is just slide them in, and there's a little notch that they're gonna fit into. I just knocked it down into place with this little rubber mallet. Double check to make sure that your oil hole lines up once it's flat. Both of these sides are completely flush with the block now, which means we can move on to the others. If you do have to use a rubber mallet to tap them in, just be very, very gentle when you do so. You don't want to damage these bearings, they are brand new. Now all the rest of these bearings are exactly the same, so you don't really need to worry about which one is going in where. There we go, the seal and the bearings are officially in the block. And what I was talking about with the little tooth is you can see right there where it kind of notches into the engine block itself. That helps keep it aligned in the center of where the bearings should be when these are going in. Next over here, we're gonna put all of the other bearings into the caps themselves, and then we can put the crankshaft into the engine. So on the caps, the same deal applies. There is a little tooth that the bearing will fit into. All you do is slide it down in there. I like to get the tooth kind of lined up first and then push it down into place best I can. This one's gonna need a little rubber mallet action. And there we go. You can see it is completely flush on both sides, and that will become 100% once we actually get this torqued down. Now, on to the rest of the caps. Once again, the bearings for these are all exactly the same. Do not worry about needing to organize or sort the actual bearings for the caps. And there you have it. All of them have the bearings in, snapped into place. I'm gonna do a little bit to clean off some of this extra little oil residue on them that I must have missed before I put these bearings in. But once that's cleaned off, then we're gonna throw the crank in the engine. All right guys, so before we drop the crank into the engine, we're gonna wanna pop open a little bit of this assembly lube. We got the Permatex Ultra Slick Engine Assembly Lube. You're just gonna wanna squeeze a little bit of it onto the fresh new bearings. That's gonna make sure that we can kind of rotate the crank around without having oil in the engine. And then of course, on the first startup, it'll be lubed up without needing to wait for the oil to get to the bearings, which is going to eliminate any damage. Just gonna put a little glob on there. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff. Just make sure it's on there nice and red. And obviously try not to get this on too many other parts of the engine. It's not gonna be the end of the world if it does, but this stuff is not cheap, so you know, you want to be using it as efficiently as possible. Now that they're all lubed up, it's time to drop the crank in. Once it gets moving, it's actually pretty good. Look at that. All right, so now we're gonna start putting the caps in. Make sure to add a little dollop of assembly lube to your bearings in here. Make sure to get them all nice and coated. Make sure there's no issues turning the crankshaft when you throw that bad boy on there. And these are gonna fit really, really tight, so don't be afraid. Once they're in there, give them a little whack with a hammer. Obviously a rubber one. You don't want to be damaging anything. And we're just gonna finger tight this. Then we move on to bearing 4. You're gonna wanna make sure that the arrows on your caps are facing the front of the engine. And we're gonna rotate this just a little bit so we can whack the cap down just a tad into place here. And rinse and repeat, pretty much. Now I'm actually gonna skip the 4th one here and move right to the number 1 cap. And that's because on the number 2 one, I'm gonna do a little bit of a plasti gauge clearance check just to make sure we're totally in spec with everything here before we lock it all down. Now this one I'm actually gonna clear a bit of the assembly lube off and we're gonna put it in dry so when we torque it down, it's all good. Now, if you're using plasti gauge like me, here's what your setup's gonna kind of look like. See that tiny little green piece of plastic there? That's what's gonna get compressed down when we torque the cap on there. So you just wanna make sure it's on a dry part with no lube, and then you also wanna make sure that your cap is not lubed either. Otherwise, it might cause some issues with squishing it down. So we're just gonna take this, put it on there, give it a couple good whacks to seat it properly. All right, so all these have to be torqued to 70 foot-pounds starting from the center and moving out. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna start by just getting them down tight with the ratchet. All right, now that these are all cranked down to basically just snug, we're gonna actually start torquing them down. those are torqued down. Immediately gonna take our breaker bar, gonna pop these boys off. And this will allow us to see how much clearance there is on these bearings based on the plastic gauge. Ooh, it did. All right, and we got a nice crush on the plastic gauge. All right, so here's the plastic gauge results right here. If we put it up against here, we're looking at somewhere between that green line and those white lines, which is somewhere between 0.002, 0.0015 on clearance. So a little bit tighter, but it should be about 0.0024. So our crank bearings have a clearance of about 0.0019, and that gives us a tolerance of about 0.001 on the crankshaft. So up or down from where it's supposed to be, which ideal is about 0.0024. So we're right in there. We are within the tolerance. It's a little bit tighter than I'd like to, but they are brand new crank bearings, so it'll be a nice, tight, snug fit. There shouldn't be much movement whatsoever in it. And we're gonna go ahead and use this. I don't think anything needs to change. We're gonna tighten down everything, and then we'll be able to say that the crank is officially installed. All right, so we put the bearing cap back on. And now let's do a little rotation test. All right, guys, so there we go. The crankshaft is officially in. It does not take very much to turn this, which is actually really nice. I can basically just push it with one finger here, and it does move back and forth. It's a little tight. Obviously, that assembly lube is not gonna be as good as oil going through it, but it will do for now. Next part of the project, we're gonna turn it right side up again and start putting the new pistons in. But that's gonna be a video for another day. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. That is how you put a crankshaft into a Chevy 350. If you enjoyed, if you followed along, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you wanna see how this project goes. I have a whole car that goes with it that's being rebuilt, and I've only got a couple months to do it. So make sure you subscribe, follow along, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.